If we are going to paint a model of a tank, the wheels and especially the chains are essential, because they are precisely the elements that define it, which is a tank without chains. Well, let's see quickly how I have considered it in this vehicle. After having sanded and polished the wheel, I inserted them into toothpicks and gave it a black primer by airbrushing it with the surfacer. It is curious, but a good way to know the base color of a vehicle can be to look at what colors its wheels are painted. You see that I used the circle stencil technique again. In this case I made a mistake with one of 18mm and it was too diluted, so I had to give it 3 coats to achieve the opacity, but I am happy with the result. It is a shame because I really like how the wheels look so new with that rim that is also profile. But we have to start with the dirtying, and I am going to use this slightly diluted brown polish so that it acts almost like a spot wash. On the inside of the wheels I am going to be more extreme and using a mixture that I will explain to you later when we talk about the chains. I am going to reproduce a dirt, a mud, a wet earth. You see that I rotate the wheel so that with the centrifugal forces it is located around the entire perimeter, and at the end I fix it with a polish. I don't know if it's because I used the fixative too much or some kind of reaction. The fact is that when it has dried, those white marks have appeared. At first they may look like mushrooms, but the sensation is that they are like little crystals, like some type of precipitation, some type of chemical reaction. I'm going to hide it by giving it an earth-colored polish. To get some visual texture in the rubber tread, I use a light gray mixed with a matte varnish to make it transparent along the entire perimeter of the rubber. I have used this technique many other times, but with these wheels it does not convince me, so I airbrush it with a light gray coat to start from scratch. I have been looking at photos of vehicles in a humid and muddy environment, mainly from eastern countries, where the ground is quite dark. I think I've hit the nail on the head a bit. I'm going to start with a central stripe in a slightly darker gray to continue working with transparency and also add an earth-colored polish with a sponge. Because the appearance of the rubber band is not going to be the same in a dry environment, in a humid environment, in a desert environment, there are different colors, but the grayish and desaturated tone that they usually have continues to catch my attention. It is also curious that despite the dirt, the difference between the metal ring and the rubber band is usually quite visible. I'm going to start by giving it a dark oil paint, in this case a sepia color. And then I'll add some metallic chips. I had already initially painted the tension wheel in gray, and I am going to add a polish using a metallic color. I will give the same treatment to the teeth of the drive wheel. Despite it being a new vehicle, and to finish with the drive wheel I give it a rust effect enamel, but something very subtle. After the curious white spots that have appeared on the inside of my wheels, I am going to try another strategy. I'm going to mix a glaze with the mixture of pigments and grass blades that I had from before, and I'm going to deposit it on the outside of the wheel. Blending it with a brush moistened with a little white spirit. With the chains I start by giving them a dark brown spray primer. The chains of the T-64 must be made of some type of alloy that rusts little, and those of the T-90 are the same style. I give it a first coat based on a metallic color. With a polish I apply the dirt that remains in the central area of the chains and that I have not removed from the wheels. I like these polishes because they are quite fluid but also have quite a bit of texture when they dry. I blended all along using a cotton swab, and I don't know if it's my imagination, but it seems like it has taken away some of the paint. I have prepared a mixture based on tea grounds, coffee grounds, dark brown pigments, grass blades based on sea balls, and also static grass, and some remains of old brushes that I am going to fix on the chain using a fixative enamel. Right now the result is too dark, but the next day it is pretty close to what I had in mind. This has set the dirt effect for the rest of the vehicle, and I will need to save this mixture to continue with the haul. Well, yes, the dirt that I have gotten on the wheels and the chain has been what directed me to dirty the rest of the vehicle. And it really hasn't been too difficult, although I'm still looking for a practical and simple method to set the pigments.